remember years ago I had a one-night stand on the road. I was telling my friend about it. He said, how was it? I said, while we were doing it, she stuck a finger, well, you guys know where. But it's CBS. I can't say it, but you know. And my friend was like, did that surprise you? And I said that she complied with my requests. That's the male G-spot, rookie. He said, that's not. I said, I've come back with good news. It's right there. Just a hint, like Tostitos' hint of lime, but... My friend said, that's gay. I was like, no, it's not. It's like a Broadway show. Gays talk about it the most, but if you're a straight guy and you've never been, you're missing out.
There's Sam Morril on James Corden, a little Frito-Lay SpawnCon in there, too. Very nice.
I should have gotten a little pay out of that now that I hear it, but...
I envision you getting back to your hotel room and there's like an array of chips and Frito-Lay snacks after that.
That's a good one, the Tostitos hint of lime. Yeah, I couldn't believe they let me do that one. I think that was one where they were like, you absolutely can't do this joke. And I was like, what if I don't say the word butthole? And they were like, all right, can you? And I was like, yeah, I think it's a good enough joke. It could stand on its own.
Because you didn't have to clear Tostitos or anything. You had to clear the other stuff.
Yeah, you know what's weird is when you do those sets. I remember I did America's Got Talent, not bragging, terrible show. But I remember I did it, and I did a joke where I say the word penis, and they were like, you can say penis once, but then for the second time you do it, you have to point to your penis. I was like, that's worse. How was that?
Right, that's not a
that's
I'm directing everyone to my junk. Yeah, check this out.
But, they have weird rules, and I guess they just, late night, it's weird. Some of them they've moved in, like, I feel like back in the day they were strict, and now you said in a Fallon set, they're like, you can't have an opinion. We're offended by opinions here.
Yeah.
And so then I was kind of like, all right. I remember I sent my people like a set for Fallon. They were like, none of these jokes will work. So I was like, how about Corden? They're like, we'll see. And that's the only excitement you get out of doing a late night set anymore, because they don't really move the needle at all. So if you do
everybody sees them on YouTube the next day.
The YouTube helps, but and they look cool and they're well run. And I'll tell you, what's fun about that joke is I flubbed the last line on a live taping, and young me would have panicked, but old me, I just go, I'm gonna do it again, and the crowd's like, all right, and they just edited it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. The exact last line, I think the one where I say, I say about my butt, I say it's, if
it goes well, the Broadway show, I call it Wicked.
Yeah, Wicked.
If it goes poorly, it's Les Mis.
Les Mis. I flubbed that. I literally am killing a 4.5 minute set, and then I flubbed the last word.
Right.
And I was like, just let me do it. And they're like, all right. So.
All right, cool. We'll cut it.
They were cool about it.
Yeah. Sam's doing the Weekend at Hilarities. You were on this show about a year or so ago. You probably don't remember. You were on the phone, but we were talking about the rooftop show that you had done during COVID.
I remember. Yeah, no, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that's over. It's funny. I put out a rooftop special, and people hit me up like, "Perform my roof," and I'm like, "No, that's never happening again."
This isn't an advertisement for me going roof to roof. I'm not Spider-Man.
I had someone hit me up like, "Hey, do you want to do my virtual show?" I was like, "No, that's over.
That's like
I'm never doing those again."
It's like having sex with a sex robot when a regular woman wants to have sex with you. That's a last
you mean
resort.
now people are still trying to get you to do virtual shows?
Someone's like,
I thought you meant
hey, I need you to reply to this ASAP. I'm like, no, that's my ASAP reply. I'm like, I'm doing live shows now. It's way more fun.
The Zoom is over,
Do I recall correctly, though, when we talked about it before, that like in the earliest days of COVID, you were resistant to the Zoom shows? There were a lot of comics who were like, I'm not doing this, because they thought it'd be over in a month. And then everybody kind of acquiesced to be like, okay, I want to do something. So I guess I'll be on somebody's screen.
It's easy to take a stand, but then when you got nothing to do at night,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you feel like an addict. It's like you're like, what do I do? I mean, there's nothing else to do.
Right.
So yeah, I caved, but I didn't enjoy it.
Did you? I hesitate to say blow up, because I know that you've been doing this and doing it very well for a long, long time. But like during COVID, was social media a boon for you? I mean, were you just constantly feeding the beast doing that?
There was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So many comics are resistant to it, but like it's that or having to wait on someone to give you the green light. So I prefer the social media thing, So yeah, whatever it takes. I mean, it is annoying, obviously, but you reach new people every time you post a joke, so I'll do whatever. Yeah, it was huge during COVID.
Are you and Taylor still together?
We're not.
See, I ask this because during that time, Taylor Tomlinson is another funny comic, and she and Sam were like dating for a while. And depending on how your algorithms would work or who you would follow, you would either see Sam Morril and his girlfriend, or on other sites, you'd be like, Taylor Tomlinson and her boyfriend are doing this cute, like, thing in their apartment.
Anything to pass the time. Like, that was the thing where we were like, just try to be productive. I think, like, I mean, that's why so many comics, you know, it's a mental illness to do 4 sets in a night. Like, is it really helping after set 3? You're like, all right, or after set 2 even? Like,
yeah.
You don't
after like a certain hour when everybody's just so drunk and you're just basically babysitting.
Well, that's what we came up as with comics. You were told as much stage time as possible, but then you get to a point where you're doing so much that you start phoning it in. Like, I did 3 shows last Saturday in Tampa, and by show 3, I'm drunk. Like, obviously, what do you think? I'm going to be the sober substitute teacher in Tampa? Of course, I'm drunk. Right. So.
I think it's illegal to be sober on a Saturday night in Tampa.
You get arrested.
Yeah.
If they grab your hand and if they see you don't have a beer can, they're like, you gotta come with us.
Hey, buddy, drink these buzz balls. Like, get out of here.
They just came out of the freezer. They're delicious.
They
make you do the breathalyzer, and if it's too low, you get arrested.
They pull you over and they hand you a fireball. They're like, have this. Yeah.
This will be okay.
No, they. So you end up doing so many sets, and I think that was the mindset during COVID. You're kind of like, well, what else are we going to do? This is going to feed whatever stand-up was feeding, and you just try to stay busy and make something that people laugh at, you know?
Yeah. So are you from Massachusetts? Where are you from?
I'm from Manhattan.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Who did you come up with? Because you've been at it for a bit, but you're not like, who did you come up with?
Mark Norman, Joe Mackey, Gary Veter, Joe List was doing it longer than us, but he was like part of our friend group. Dan Soder, you know, a lot of New York comics. Yeah. I didn't know that. He's a friend of mine, but now I know.
Shoot him a text.
I will. Now I'm going to be like, dude, I've been thinking about this all year.
I couldn't wait until June 24th to blow you up again.
Yeah. I mean, he's, Dan's great. I mean, so they were all, I had such a good crew of comics now, you know, that you really, you're never competitive because I liked them all so much. It was kind of like, you know, oh, I got to up my game because he's so good or whatever. You know,
yeah, that's a good group to come up with.
Yeah, because everybody's kind of got a different vibe. Like, you talk about the stuff you can't do on late night shows or whatever. Your stuff, it's really funny, and I think there's never a wasted beat. Like, it's always really well written, and it's dark, but it's never like. It's kind of surprising to me that they would go, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. Because it's never like overtly gross or like, it's just darkish, but I think I don't know.
If anything, I describe my comedy as light because it's like, if I'm doing a joke about a subject matter that's not friendly and I'm making it funny, then that's light humor to me. Like, you're making it fun. You're making it. I think stand-up has that bit where someone's like, how dare you make fun? He goes, how dare you make fun? I mean, I really do think it's like, you know, I like late night sets. I mean, they don't really help that much on the road, like filling seats like they used to, but they're still fun to do. And I grew up watching them. I got into so many comics through old Letterman sets or Conan sets.
Yep.
And, I mean, even Carson sets, you know, because they're on YouTube. And
it was like appointment TV for certain comics when they go on. You look in the TV guide and you see like, oh, Seinfeld's going to be on doing a late night. So you're like, I got to watch this.
Exactly. And I remember there was a period whenever Louis was doing panel on a late night show, it was must see TV.
You had to watch it.
And there's something about that I miss because now with podcasting, like podcasting's great and it's great for comedy that you can reach fans in these different ways. But now with these podcasts, you'll talk for like 4 hours and you're just like, I like the concentrated, like there's a crowd, you have to kill. I like that style, you know.
Yeah,
I like the
more
live.
Distilled,
well, my question is always, has the podcast, because there's so many goddamn podcasts now, and it's every comic doing every other comic's podcast. Has the podcast become the new hanging out at the bar, or no?
I mean, I don't think you got canceled for stuff you used to say at the bar, so I would say no.
Right, okay.
No, you get in trouble for stuff you say on these podcasts, but...
well, I don't mean that. I mean, like, the hanging out part.
Oh, like, this is when I see my friends?
Kind of.
We haven't had dinner in 2 years. Come to Astoria and do my show.
Sit in my garage and,
it is how I see a lot of comics. I mean, like, you know, I do them with Mark Normand, and we wouldn't hang out this much. I mean, not that we aren't friends.
Because you're both on the road, though.
Yeah, we're just never. It's like forced time we have to hang out, and I enjoy the hell out of it.
Sure.
But it's, you know, we're all so busy that without this, everyone's got a podcast now. So it's one of the, if you smile at someone, it's like seeing a homeless guy. If you smile, they're like, money. You're like, all right, do my podcast now. And you're like, all right, that was the one open day I had this week. But
yeah. You got to find nice ways to be like, thank you, but no thank you.
Well, I think people understand sometimes when you just say you're burnt out. I told someone recently, he hit me up like 3 times to do it, and he seemed like a nice guy. And I said, look, man, if I do your podcast, I'm not going to write enough that day. So let's just, we found a time, but I was like, stand up for me will always come first. Of
course.
You know, but stand up.
At some point, you've said everything you have to say on a podcast.
How many times do I have to tell my story? It's one of the things where like, are you at least, I get excited when it's like a weird thing where it's like, oh, we're going to riff on news stories, or, oh, we're going to do, at least it's something where I don't have to just do the exact same beats that I'm just sick of saying out loud.
Yeah.
You know?
Let me give away this money real quick. It's a chance for you to grab $1,000 here. Listen closely, one of these keywords, and good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fuel yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword GRAND at WMMS.com. That's GRAND. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
Sam Morril is at Hilarities on 4th Street this weekend. What is it, tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday? You're not doing Sunday shows.
No, Sunday.
I believe Saturday's all sold out, too. So
okay. And Friday's basically sold out.
So come out tonight.
Really tonight.
Come out tonight. Skip the NBA draft and go watch Sam.
Do you guys have you guys don't even have a good pick here? You guys
there's like 3 picks, but
28th or 14th or something?
14th is the first pick. They traded then they have 3 second-round picks, but I think they're going to probably package those and try and there's rumors of trading for Murray from San Antonio, so
oh man,
that'd be huge.
That would be so annoying if you had him. He's so good.
Where the Knicks pick?
We're 11, but there's rumors that we might trade up and try to get Ivy, which I love as long as we keep RJ Barrett, who I also love. But
do you want Kyrie to come to the Knicks?
No, of course not. I was
causing trouble when
what he did to Brooklyn. I mean, like,
it's impressive how he can just destroy teams.
Thank God their fans are terrible, and they don't. Yeah. I feel nothing for them, but I mean. Yeah, Kyrie, it's weird. You guys must have a weird relationship with him because he really helped you win a championship.
Yeah.
Kind of. And when he used to come in here, he was like, of course, that was earlier. I don't think he'd gotten his sea legs yet. But
he'd like come on the show and like sing karaoke. Yeah. And then we did like a thing where we'd play like us in the morning show would have a team and he'd like referee these games. And then he won that championship. And after he won the championship, he just got very weird.
Yeah, he did.
Well, you know, he hit the
shot
in Cleveland history.
I'll love him forever,
man. But I don't want him. I think he's locker room poison. I think he's like, if you want to rebuild, you got to do it the right way and bring in the right guys. And I think he's an incredible player. I wouldn't want him on the Knicks.
Is basketball your game? Is that the one you most focus on?
I'm a huge Knicks fan.
Yeah, I grew up with the Bulls. I don't even like, when I was growing up, it was kind of like. We got so lucky with the Bulls. It was like a fait accompli that you're like, we're going to win again in the early 90s, right? And you can't appreciate it that much if that's kind of the role that you're on.
Yeah, you lost your virginity to the perfect 10 model.
Right. Yeah.
And now every other woman you're like, eh.
Yeah, that's right.
Even if she's hot, you're like, eh.
Yeah.
I've had better.
Whatever. I don't know what you want from me.
No, I mean, see, from us as the Knicks in the 90s, we just were a bunch of bruisers. We always came close, but we never won. So I was introduced to just an awesome team that couldn't win. And that becomes like the identity of New Yorkers, where you're like, it's not about winning, it's about losing with dignity.
That's right, yeah. You're like major market underdogs.
But then you see when the Knicks get like a flare up, like going to the playoffs last year, or even the way the season started this year. And I think there was a big win, I think, in the first home game.
I was there.
Yeah, and people were losing their minds.
It was insanity. Yeah. I was there with my brother. And I was like, dude, we got to go. It's opening night. I bought tickets. And he was like, all right. So we're at the game. Afterwards, we go out. The madness, I'm like, you would have thought we just won Game 7. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was literally an opening night win against the Celtics, who, turned out to be pretty good this year. But, I mean, the fans are lunatics. I love it.
You take your victories where you can. Any excuse to go crazy.
You're right.
Kind of.
It's a lot is bottled up.
Right.
There's a lot bottled up. So
it's on a lot of different fronts, maybe not even sports related.
Do you have that kind of, you're not that crazy about, I mean, like, you're a big fan, but like, you have other things going on in your life, so you don't have to live through them as much.
It's not your identity.
Say that, but I've definitely had my therapist say in like relationships, he's like, well, they say you don't show enough emotion. I was like, that's just how I am. He's like, what do you do when the Knicks win? I'm like, all right. I mean, maybe I'm just a bad guy. I don't know. I mean, I'm not like a lunatic, but I feel it. Like it's like a childhood thing. I think it must be like, I mean, I'm like Nick's QAnon. It's like I believe in crazy stuff. I mean, I think you just, even if you kind of don't believe the season ends and it's almost like you're reborn and you're like, I think it could happen. Like,
there's no downside in believing.
Well, and especially when your team has been through so many rough years like the Knicks have, you have to convince yourself to keep being a fan. So you're looking for any spark you can find, through those years. That's why Linsanity was such a big thing, because you're like, yes, something's going on.
What's more QAnon than Linsanity?
Right.
Like, an Asian guy's going to come to the Garden. He's going to explode everyone.
From Harvard.
Yeah. I mean, he was incredible. He was at a show once to the Cellar, and he was a really good guy, too. So, that made me like him even more. But incredible run. I mean, you guys are real sports fans in Cleveland because...
I'm getting destroyed because I'm not on board with the Watson thing. So there's people just like, you're not a Clevelander anymore, just like trying to denounce it. But I took that stand, and I'm gonna stand by it. But it's also like I watch all the Guardians games, huge Cats fan, and up until the Watson thing, huge Browns fan. But
it's a weird move. Yeah. I guess he's gonna have to call massage parlors like Deshaun Watson. Watson's not my last name.
Uh-huh. What was the name that Dick from Dayton called him?
Oh, he called him Sean Slotson or something, but he wasn't even making a joke. He just couldn't get his name out.
Well, look, that guy's talented. He got all the talent in the world, but like, it's really weird. Man.
Yeah,
I started
a lot of money to give a guy with that much baggage.
And look,
even in professional sports,
the NFL is, for whatever reason, look, it's a violent league. Mm-hmm. These players take their hits. It's for whatever reason more forgiving than other sports are. But I mean, it's interesting. I just started a podcast with Julian Edelman from the Patriots. It's going to be out in I think August, and it's a lot. We have amazing guests, but we did have Michael Vick on, and there was a part of me that was like, just don't make a dogfighting joke. Don't make a dogfight. And we called him an icon probably like 47 times because he is. He was incredible.
Sure, yeah.
Michael Vick was phenomenal, and then he reinvented himself. But then at the end, I'm like, I feel like I'm owed one dogfighting joke.
Well, I was going to say, I wasn't sure if you were trying to slip one in or if you were talking to him about the dogfighting part of his life. That was a big thing. It's like, did you ignore it, or you were just looking to get a line in?
I just wanted to make a joke.
Yeah.
But I think like the comic instinct, you're like, can I get away with one? But then he was so nice, and you're just like, you
didn't want to kick him when he was,
Yeah.
So you
and
did or didn't?
And also, no, I didn't. And also, he paid his time. Like, the guy went to prison.
Yes, he did his time.
I mean, that's like, think about all the horrible people in the NFL and how they just avoid prison. Right?
Yeah.
Who was that guy on Dallas? The guy who's like, who beat his girlfriend,
I mean, that doesn't really narrow it down.
I'm going to need more information.
Ezekiel Elliott?
Not Ezekiel Elliott. Greg Hardy.
Okay.
Well, that was one where they said I think it was like he's out 4 to 6 with domestic abuse. I'm like, you're going to talk about it with the casualness of, a torn quad
his ACL
or something?
got ripped, yeah.
Charles Haley has a lot of crazy stories about this
really?
stuff. Oh, man. Look up Charles Haley, because he played for 49ers in Dallas, and he had like a legendary, like, huge D, and like he would just be hard in the locker room, like, and be like, I'm gonna bang your wife, and like not in those words, but
it's like Mr. T in Rocky 3.
Like, just talking.
It's funny that you're cleaning it up, and I'm still like, this is not appropriate at all.
To people on his team, he'd say crazy stuff. So like, you imagine what he's saying to people on the other team. Like he read up on. You'll enjoy some of the stories about Charles Haley, I think, because it's just so crazy.
Herschel Walker's running for Congress. The guy thinks there's 52 states. He was pulling guns on his wives, and he's like, family values. And like, oh my God, these people.
Yeah,
he's finding out. Guy. He's getting kids calling him out the way Watson's getting accusers.
That's right.
Like every day, there's like, hey, Herschel,
I'm your son too.
I'm your kid too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Watson thing is. Look, the thing is though, he'll have like 3 good weeks in a row, and people are gonna forget.
Or he won't, and they'll turn on him immediately.
Yeah.
Sam Morril is at Hilarities this weekend. Somebody texted me, Alan, don't forget Sam was in Joker. I did forget that.
I was.
Are you going to be in the musical Joker sequel?
Listen,
are you working on your pipes?
If Todd Phillips is listening, dude, Just
He usually is.
I'm sending in the tape of me belting out "Luck Be a Lady."
Yeah,
you're gonna lose your mind.
that's right. That's all you'll need.
Can I sing? We'll see.
Yeah, that'll be
Let's
up
keep
to
people
him.
guessing. Yeah, like, dude, musical ability is subjective.
You and Lady Gaga.
I think I could belt out some tunes.
You could do the low end on something.
I could do something.
Yeah.
Hey, Brando did "Luck Be a Lady" and "Guys and Dolls." He can't sing.
I mean, Lee Marvin and "Paint Your Wagon," right? I mean, anybody can do it.
Anyone can sing.
Yeah.
Singing is subjective. This is my new hot take that anyone can sing. I was going to say, can Joaquin sing? But I saw Walk the Line. He can sing.
Yeah, he can.
No, I mean, that was a cool experience. Todd Phillips is the man. He's really a cool guy.
What if he made $1 billion? You're in $1 billion movie.
I know, it's pretty crazy. I think it's the #1 rated R movie of all time.
I assume largely due to your efforts.
Sure,
Got to the $1 billion mark. Congrats.
Look, I mean, if another comic was in it, maybe it would have fallen a little short. I was pushing it on social media, so
right,
sold some tickets. Maybe. I mean, look, Joker, that was a cool experience. You know, a lot of people have pointed out to me that Joaquin, he follows me in an open mic, and that's when he descends into madness after he bombs. So who drove the Joker crazy? Sam Morril.
You did,
that's
yeah.
right.
He couldn't follow me on stage.
Congratulations.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Also,
You got your epitaph already written.
Yeah, Sam Morril buried the Joker.
Yeah.
Birthed the Joker in a way.
Birthed
Birthed the Joker.
Yeah.
He's not doing madness. He's not going on Murray Franklin all pissed off.
No.
If he has a good set, he's
right.
following a lesser comic at that open mic. I mean, yeah, that was a cool experience because I did different bits every set, every take. I do a different joke. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's extras. I don't want to do the same joke. It's
Sure.
humiliating. So I'm doing different material. And when you get the light on stage, you got to wrap it up. You got to get off stage at a comedy show. But when they do it on a movie, it means, just get off immediately. Just they're following Joaquin Phoenix with like, get off this second. So they're like, all right, Sam, get off. And I'm just like, all right, let me wrap this up.
Yeah.
I'm literally halting
yeah.
because I'm literally halting production on a $1 billion movie.
Sure.
Because I'm like, let me wrap up this vibrator joke. And they're like, first off, we didn't have vibrators in the 80s, or maybe they did in the 80s. I don't know. Who knows?
Guys, you don't know what I do, all right? Let me do what I do.
Let me
That's
do
why
my
I'm here.
art, guys.
My art. Sam Morril is at Hilarities this weekend. Shows tonight, tomorrow. Saturday sold out, but get to pickwickandfrolic.com for the details. And find him online. He's a great follow. And thanks for coming in, man.
My pleasure, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
All right, let me take a break here. 35192. You want to text for anything, and we'll be back.
The Alan